Hi you guys, welcome back to our channel. That has been a season, if you will. IVF retrieval has, I would say, come to a close, minus the appointment that I had to go to. I went to the doctor's for OHSS, and I was going there to check to see if I had OHSS, how severe it was. I knew it wasn't super severe because I have a lot of friends who have gone through it, but I wanted to see what was going on. But before we get into that, I have a few housekeeping announcements. First off, I cannot begin to thank each and every one of you for loving us and supporting us and being here for us, encouraging us along this IVF retrieval process. It is a very emotional season, and you guys were very supportive when we chose to try to keep it a little bit more private with our family before we shared it with you guys. We wanted to have the least amount of stress. We didn't want to have anything to distract us from what we were doing together as a family. But of course, then we wanted to share everything with you guys, and we're so excited. But doing that, we got a little bit behind on some videos, and so we want to catch up. We do not like filming and being so far behind before we share it with you guys. So in order to do that, we spent the next few vlogs that you're gonna see coming up condensing them. You're gonna see days that are put together, and you're going to see a lot of things that may not have gone according to plan. After a retrieval, getting OHSS, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. From there, I think my body was just at a low point. It just was saying, I am done. So therefore, when my littles come in and they bring in maybe a cold, who gets it the worst? I do. So of course, retrieval to OHSS to me getting sick. And then of course, if that wasn't bad enough, we get stuck. Our RV has to be towed out of somewhere. From there, our RV sets on fire, and all of that leading up into our RV open house to share with friends and family what it's going to be like to live tiny over the next year. Yeah, yikes. These vlogs are going to be a little crazy, but I'm excited to share where we've been, and yes, we are fine and alive and everything is all in well. But it was a little bit of a roller coaster getting here. So while we're getting our vlogs more caught up and up to date, if you want to stay most up to date with us, you can go check us out on our Instagram and our Twitter and see exactly what craziness we are getting ourselves involved in. And right now, we are in a big, huge project. So if you go over to our social media, you can see what we're doing. Okay, so moving back on why most of all of us are here. What in the world is OHSS? What is it doing? Why do I feel this way? Why are my friends sick in bed after they've done IVF, or my daughter, or anybody that you might know, or just watching us and seeing what the heck, why is Alex having a hard time bending over and tying her shoe? So our first retrieval, I did not get OHSS. This time I'm gonna swing right over into my appointment, and you can see that our clinic said, yes, you definitely have some OHSS going on.
They're big. You have a lot of cysts, which is to be expected. You do have a lot of free fluid though, so I would stop with the water. So your ovaries are large, but they're not terrible.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm like, I know some people are like hobbling. They're in so much pain.
A little miserable.
Yeah.
I think it's actually the fluid that's making you feel worse than the ovaries.
100%, because it's even higher. It's like up in my stomach.
Yeah,
it's like
like your ovaries floating in all that fluid.
Oh.
12.94 centimeters. 4.70 centimeters.
I feel better today than I did yesterday, and yesterday I felt better than the day before. So
yeah,
it's just more of like taking the deep breath. That's like the weird part.
It's the fluid.
Okay. Yeah. I think the worst part is bending over. So if you didn't catch that, she said that I had a fluid amount that was about 12.5 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters. So my OHSS was pretty mild and not very big, but I was very uncomfortable. I was nauseous. It was hard to bend over. My stomach Even though it wasn't extremely bloated, as especially that you can get with OHSS, it was really rock hard and really uncomfortable. And the worst part for me was a random symptom that I don't think a lot of people have, but the fluid was hitting my diaphragm, and so it was hitting and irritating a nerve that was going up into my shoulder. So every time I took a breath, I got a very sharp pain in my shoulder, which I think kind of made me feel a little short of breath, not wanting to take that deep breath because that was really uncomfortable. But Alex, what in the world is OHSS? So ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome is when we have done IVF, injected ourselves with hormones, and made all of the eggs that we have that are mature enough to grow, we get them all to grow, all at once. So let's say, because I have 10 fingers, we're gonna say we have 10 follicles that we are growing. All of them are going to grow to a big size. And normally you might only have 1, maybe 2 eggs that grow. So when you have all of them, you go in and you get them all taken out for IVF. So, but what happens to all these pockets? All of these eggs taken out, all of these follicles that are left. So all of these follicles, after you've had your retrieval, can reaccumulate with fluid. And if they reaccumulate with fluid, they can also start leaking out that fluid into your abdomen, and that is called third spacing. And so your abdomen is going to start stretching and getting big. I have a girlfriend, if she lets me, I am going to insert her photo right here. She looks 6 months pregnant, and she is just right after her retrieval. So the hardest part is, Alex, how in the world can I not get OHSS? Or if I do have OHSS, what can I do to at least help? So the 2 risk factors that you're going to possibly have this big hyper overstimulation is if A, your estrogen gets really high, and B, that's usually because you have created a lot of follicles, a lot of eggs, you retrieved a lot of eggs. And so if your clinic knows ahead of time, they might actually put you on fluid restriction before your retrieval, or if you're like me and had low risk or moderate risk, maybe you would do fluid restriction after. So what is fluid restriction? You don't get to have water. What? Yeah, no water, 0 water. But we all need to have something, right? So we can have electrolyte water. I personally did coconut water. When I couldn't handle the sweetness anymore, I switched over to a little bit less sweet and did a vitamin water 0. You can do Gatorade, you can do anything that is an electrolyte drink. That is to prevent all that fluid to go into your ovaries, making you at more risk to third space even more. A couple more things that can help is high protein, rest, a heating pad, and just take good care of yourself. If you end up getting OHSS severely, you can be very extremely uncomfortable. You can be in bed, you can be to the point where you don't even want to walk. I am very thankful that I did not get to that point, but I do have friends that have. I want everyone going into IVF to know all of their risks and things to expect, and so you don't get caught off guard. And one of those is OHSS. Let's say you do hyperstimulate, you get to the point where you are completely distended, you get to the point where it's so much pressure that you actually have to go in to the hospital and get fluid tapped out of your abdomen. This is a big deal. IVF is not for the faint of heart. IVF, infertility, we are warriors that are trying to do the best to bring some beautiful outcome to our family. But it does come with a lot of fight and effort and sometimes even some suffering. And OHSS, unfortunately, is one of those top issues when it comes to IVF. If you can, leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know, did you have OHSS? What was your experience? What helped you? What helped you get through it? If you have other questions that are along the lines of infertility or IVF, I would love to answer your questions. You can go ahead and also leave those in the comments down below. And you guys, we are about to hit the road, so you're not going to want to miss that. Hit that subscribe button, like this video. It really helps our family to be able to continue sharing videos like this with you. We are so thankful for each and every one of you. Go let your love multiply. Bye guys.
Don't you know that you're beautiful?